Welcome back to the 7 Deadly Sins, anime review episode number 36. This reviewing the 82nd episode of the anime Rise Up Against Despair. Yep, that's the name of this episode. This one I looked up in the book because the wiki site hasn't updated yet. Don't know why, but it did. This one basically adapts the second half of chapter 278 and goes through the entirety of chapters 279 and 280. Now, when I was reading that, when I was watching the anime, I'm like, really? That's how far they went in just one episode? I'm like, that's a bit short, covering like 2.5 chapters in just 23 minutes. I would have thought that they would have basically done a lot more, but nope, they didn't. I'm not really sure why, but they did. Also, as this episode, there is exactly, 14. There's actually 8. As of this episode, there is exactly 18 chapters left to be adapted. Yep, 18. Yeah, so all that's left is just 281, the 284, and 293, the 306. That's the only chapters left to go for this arc. Now, I'm hoping, presumably with next week's episode, they finally close that gap before like 280. They finally close this gap. And maybe they go back to the Purgatory stuff, but nope. This whole episode is set at this one location. Episode picks up not long after the last episode. Of course, Mel is still going nuts. And we see 2 characters die in this episode. Yep, 2 characters. 2 of the 4 Archangels get killed by Mel in his rampage. Yes, when he tries to merge with the 4 commandments, one of course was given to him. Yes, despite that getting rejecting him, he still wants to merge with the damn things. For reasons. And there's a look he adapted in this episode, and yes, they do in fact show us in the book as well. They said that was quite interesting. Yeah, you're probably thinking, really? He took on this look. Yeah, this is after he had basically merged 4 commandments. So basically, in the span of about just a few minutes, I mean, in just a short period of time, he's already got 4 of the 10 commandments. Yeah, this is what he turns into right here. This look right here, with this mask on that you can't even see, the black wings and the white wings, which is an interesting look to say the least. And he has this look for a short period of time. Yep. So he pretty much is like bombarding everybody. Pretty much we all see like various other areas of the kingdom where we see the kingdom of Leonis basically is heavily like the castle is hit. Unknown if the king is fine. We do see like Hauser, we see his son, we see also Jericho, Gela, I believe Dreyfus is seen in this episode. Yeah, a lot of the Holy Knights are seen in this episode, which is cool. I love the fact we finally get to see these guys. In the case of Dreyfus and his son, this is the first time since the previous season they've been seen, which is interesting. And it's great to see Jericho, especially since she does play a minor role from the rest of the series. And Gula, wow, it's great to see her. It's nice to have a little cutaway to see all the bombardment. But I'm like, okay, they could have added in the King of Leonis to see his reaction to all this. Nope, we have to keep exactly how it was in the manga, like spot on, like there is some minor alterations here and there. Like there is a bit of flashback with Gotha where he's talking to Merlin. In the case of this, you don't see Merlin's full body here. They cut that out for some reason. Yeah, you only see a close up of her face. We see her experimenting with Gother's head, which is on a table. Yes, this did happen. It's the same flashback, but it's a bit longer. It wasn't manga. Manga was like 2 panels. Here it takes about 30 seconds. And of course, Gother really wants to take out Mel. And of course, we also have a really interesting moment where Deanne. We also see Deanne's adoptive mother. We see her reaction to this. Deanne sees this too, and then she gets teleported away by King's pet, Odes, I think it's how you pronounce his name. And she shows up, goes in middle form, takes him on, and eventually he uses his powers to attack them. One of the things he tackles is with the Silence one, which is basically Mespit's commandment. hits with King at the end. Though they basically get sliced up anyways before that. So Elizabeth frees Deanne's ability to freeze up her magic. King's is sealed for most of the episode until he gets free. I'll get to that in a minute. And she does her dance the episode. There's a Trinity moment. Chastity Fold goes to see a sixth form in this episode, which I thought was really cool. And let's see. Eventually the thing is broken, but don't worry, Chastity Fold's not destroyed, just basically his form is broken. And then we have him using his attack on them, and of course, well, Deanne uses a special lightning attack, which also looks like it damages the head of her giant hammer she's got. Yeah, she says the reason why she doesn't use this, because this thing destroys a lot of, like pretty much just reduces a whole area to a wasteland. And she figured, though, on this island it would be perfectly fine because it's a man-made floating island. Which, yeah, I agree, that's actually a pretty smart move. There's nothing really much here because of buildings. At the 2,000 attacks, the island is completely destroyed. Gother himself basically is supposedly sacrificing himself to take on Mel. He sees an illusion of Naja, Elizabeth's aunt, and the king's late. She's also, believe it or not, the king's late sister. Yeah, the thing is, when it comes to Naja, they confirm this that she is Elizabeth's aunt. They confirmed this in one of the Hawk stuff they had for last season. And one thing interesting, though, that the readers have pointed this out, that Veronica, the king's second daughter, she's the spitting image of his late sister. Yeah, as far as I can tell, there's no real reason for this at all. So she's never been called out. But hey, you look like your aunt. I'm surprised Gother has never told her that. Nope, he never has. Despite the fact he spent a lot of time with Naja before she died. Though she was dying anyways, and he was accused of murdering her, despite the fact she was already dead anyways. Oh yeah, and also, most of his arm is destroyed in this episode. Yes, most of his arm. Just like in the manga, it happened too. And then the most awesome moment happens at the end of the episode. The Silence Mark gets free from King. And then his wings sprout. They go bigger. To the same size as Galaxia, the first Fairy King. And we also see it looks like not only his wings have grown bigger, he also looks like he's grown taller and his voice has gone deeper. I'm like, interesting. I wonder how this is going to sound in the dub when they finally release it. I gotta hate that this episode was pretty good. Surprising only this amount of chapters. Now, do I think next episode will probably conclude this portion of the arc? It's possible it could cover 4 chapters. It all depends upon Studio Dean. Though, I have heard that this season was left for 24 episodes. The thing is, how long is it going to take to adapt 18 chapters? I mean, if you do what you do before, do 4 chapters, you could do just a few episodes. I still think this arc will take up half the season. Yes. If I think the quickest arc basically will be the second last arc of the manga, which is Chaos. That's 8 chapters. That one you can do in 2 episodes with that one. The Demon King arc, that would take up for most of the rest of the series right there. Well, it depends on exactly how far they take with it. Yes, also, believe it or not, the first episode, aside from its first episode in a little while where Melanie Ellis does not make an appearance. I'm surprised we don't cut back to Purgatory this episode, which is the second episode in a row that it is. Maybe next week they'll wrap this up, but who knows? It all depends upon what's going to happen next week. Yep. So yeah, good episode. Definitely looking forward to next week's episode. Yep, so that's episode review. I'm going to do one more review. Now, I was thinking of doing Dr. Stone Type, but because it's kind of late, I figured though I'd just do this one. I've been delaying this for quite a while. Next thing I'm going to do is comic book history. Yep, I've been wanting to do this one for some time. That'll be the next thing I'm going to do. And yes, I'm still going to discuss it. The character I'm discussing for that one is the question. The original question. I'll tell you why. When I get to it, okay? Same video. But